All right, good morning, traders. You can see this BUZZEF ETF. This new ETF is out. This Reddit ETF, basically, and it's not doing too much right at the moment. Good morning, One Life. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Michelle. So we have the SPY rebounding a little bit. So there may be some possible breakouts. Could be a little bit of a rebound day today and then a sell-off tomorrow. Another little sell-off. SLGG still climbing. Let's put that on the watch list as it's getting attention today. Let's see, SKT, that's the Tanger outlet, Tanger, however you say it. That's that play. Not seeing a lot of plays though. At least not right off the bat off of these let me do a scan real quick and see what we got going on. Actually, I'm gonna do this scan first. Let's see where all the volume's at. GE, NIO, SOS. So a lot of the volume is in these value stocks. Not really in any penny stocks or anything like that. So I'll do this. If I switch this to my scan, I guarantee there's not going to be that many. Oh, actually, yeah, I need to fix that. I need to add a 0 to that. Got a few. Just throw these all over here. And we'll just go through them from there, and let's check that NYSC as well. A little bit of weird, couple of penny stocks, actually under $1. Whoops. AESE breaking this downtrend right at the moment. And still, you can see it's still getting held up there. I'll give everything a few minutes here before I jump in anything. Give me just a second, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, so you can see it kind of getting rejected there at the downtrend, so nothing there yet. SLG going straight up at market open, but I'm not going to touch that yet. Like I said, it's just going straight up. SETF slowly going sideways. RETO is possible U-shaped breakout, but we haven't really seen too many breakouts working. Oh God, see the SPY is curling over right there. SPY may drop today. So in this type of market, I haven't been doing it, but you got to be really picky and choosy of what you get in. This is interesting. Doesn't have a lot of volume yet, but a little double bottom there. If it does break that U-shape, it's going to run into that 150, so there may not be much room for much of a profit there. Rocket looks like it's trying to possibly flag here. That looks like garbage. That looks like garbage. That looks like garbage. SNGX selling off. Rocket pulling back. Well, ASC is trying to break this again. I may try to go on ASC here. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Well, that trailing stop loss just got me out. I was just about to move it down some, but you see it's still getting rejected there. I'm gonna go for it again. Oh, maybe not for that many shares. I'm gonna go for it again because it's got the support right here. in this 317 area that's holding up so far. If it cracks below that, though, that's going to be it. Of course. And it starts cracking right then. But yeah, this curl over, though, getting rejected there. But there is some support right at 313 as well, which is where that just came down to. Don't want that support to crack. Let's see, we know where the downtrend is. I'm gonna take it off so I can see this candle. Okay, this daily candle's alright. But this reverse curl over is not pretty. It's got to start coming back up and break this pattern. Good morning, Jamie. If this candle dumps below this little started trend line here, and this is going to be done, and it's starting to. Give it 30 seconds, see if it pulls back up. This candle's going to close in 30 seconds. Come up a little bit. If that's the new low, then this will be good to go. If this can start pushing up from here. You can see that candle came down to this 305 support. Straight across there, that held up. Actually, I do see something. Oops, get out of here with that box. So actually, since right here at this pivot point, there's the uptrend. You can see this is in a downtrend, and then it's been slowly building higher lows. If it cracks this trend line, though, it's going to be done. Starting to crack too. on the SPY's cracking. That's what I was concerned about. The SPY's all the way down to 380. So this may actually this may probably crack. There's some buy in there at 303 trying to hold it up. Yeah, you're not wrong, Daniel B. Is definitely not a pretty market. And I think it's only going to get uglier. I'm about to have to jump out of this. I'm going to give it to 3. I'm going to see if 3 can hold up. It's trying. But I mean, this is a pretty straight downtrend right now. The sell-off not looking very good. If it could have held the little uptrend right there, then it would have been fine. But now it's sketchy. Probability is it's not gonna break out, but we'll see if it can rebound off of 3. But I got in this because the support held up, like 4 times. And then we started getting this green candle pushing up, so I thought that maybe we was going to get a push up there, but instead you can see selling pressure smashed it right back down. There is some good buying sitting at 3, trying to hold it above 3. As you can see, they've pushed it all the way back up to 305 now. Now, here's where it's going to be important. It's got to break over 305. Break this selling trend right here we have at the moment. See, buyers still pushing it up. Are you new to the stock market? M&M. I don't have Skype on my phone, Daniel B, so I didn't see it. I wasn't home for most of the day. But I will make an effort to Skype you either today or tomorrow. I'm pretty busy today. I got a doctor's appointment in a little while, so I'm not going to be able to do a super long stream. But then after that doctor's appointment, I can probably hit you up, Daniel B, and we can hash things out, buddy. You missed the opening rip of what? But I think in this downtrend market that we got, it's probably going to continue. Instead of looking for breakouts, we should be looking for bounce plays. Like you saw this in pre-market slowly climbing up. I didn't see it. I didn't look at any stocks till after market open, but you see it was bouncing off this downtrend and then market open. As soon as it dropped down and came back up, started coming off that downtrend or off that uptrend. You could have got entry like 305 and maybe got about 30-40 cents. So that's the type of plays we're going to have to look for in this lukewarm market. Yes, the market's still mixed, but there's there's a very good probability that the market's going to crash soon. At least have a nice correction. How big the crash is going to be, nobody really knows, but the common consensus is the stock market's getting pretty weak. Which, you know, you guys have been in here, you've been hearing me say that for the last couple of weeks. But the more I listen to different economists and stuff, everybody seems to have that same feeling that the market's probably going to crash. And this needs to hold up $3 here. We need to stop testing 3. If it keeps testing this $3 support, it's going to crack and sell off. And it's getting real close. Yeah, that doesn't look very good. I think I'm about to have to hop out of this. Yeah, and you see it just hit a new low, so that's not going to do anything most likely. I'm gonna give it just half a second, but I'm super close to getting out here. But that's a strong sign of a dip in stock. Yeah, I'm about to get out. When all the support is cracking, because this did have a lot of support under it. And this 290 is another support level of that, and you see it there. That was where the pivot point was at, like that 286. And and looking back, you've also got support at that 290 area as well. So a lot of support still under this, but it's not looking good at the moment. And you can see we've not had any buying volume coming in either on the last. Yeah, this is cracking. Yeah, it looks like the SPY is about to crack below 380. So everything's going to start dumping. Looks like it's trying to rebound there. For a little bit. You can see, even if you go back on a further time frame, the trend line was there, so it's still below this trend line. Below every trend line. Well, it's actually the same trend line. I just didn't have it all the way extended back, but you can see it now. All right, I'm just gonna put a stop loss below that bottom support and see if this can climb back up, but most likely not. Let's see how the SPY is looking. It must be pretty, yeah. So it's trying to hold up that 50-day. If that 50-day cracks, it's going to get ugly. Let's see if we can find any other trades. May have to look for some type of bounce plays. So like SLGG right now is trying to hold up this 6 support. But it's in a downtrend too. But you possibly could get a little bounce off of this $6 area, maybe up to $6.25 or something like that, maybe. AESC is trying to come back up, but if it gets rejected at the trend line there, then it's going to crash. You see that crazy ETF selling off. That selling off as well. Let's take that off. I don't see anything there. RETO could be a possible play. Good God, Rocket. Rocket is a dump fest. This is another perfect example of why you do not listen to the social media, Wall Street Bets, or any of that. Because they pumped the hell out of this stock yesterday, or not yesterday, day before yesterday, and now you see what's happened. It dumped. Dumped hard yesterday, dumping hard again today, so you got to know why you were buying or selling a stock. You can't be going off of random people in Reddit that you don't know. Short Snap and Twitter. Yeah, one life. If you're starting to short, buddy, you're probably going to make a lot of money over the next couple of weeks. Because if the market continues to crash like I think it is, like it's, oof. We are really testing that 50-day. This is ugly. This right here on the daily chart, this is a very, very ugly pattern. It's not really, there's not really a specific pattern for this, but it is just ugly. AESC is still trying to hold up, but the market continues to drop like this, nothing's going to hold up. Well, you got a little payoff before the SLGG drop. Very nice. Yeah, it seems to be what the where the biggest rips are coming, or right at market open, which it's really hard to trade right at market open. I mean, the stock can look good and then just dump, but you do have this little small uptrend, and then you got that little bit of buying volume there. But yeah, we're not getting very many rips outside of that first 10-15 minutes. So you either have to play that first 15 minutes and try to get a quick scalp, or you're going, like, look at this scanner. This scanner is usually full of stocks, and there's 4 stocks on it, and 2 of them don't even have over $1 million in volume. So it tells you right there, there's a lot of selling pressure in the market. See AESC trying to get back above that trend line. Yeah. Jamie, you are spot on. Inverse ETFs is where it's at, and actually, if you look at this daily chart, LABD is ready to go. The market starts crashing. You see today it opened up above. It actually had a little indicator squeeze there, but it's above that 50-day, and now it's got room all the way up to 32. But yeah, nice play. And I may start just playing these inverse ETFs too. I was just waiting for a confirmation that the market was going to drop, and we're actually going to have a nasty pullback. But I think today's a good confirmation of that. This candle right here with this little upper shadow, the market tried to push up, but selling pressure is pushing it down. I think we're going to come down to 368 to this 100-day moving average, depending on what this candle does the rest of the day. But I would be surprised if this comes back up and turns green today. I think we're looking at a pullback at least at 368 area. ASC still trying its little hardest to get back above that trend line. SOX, I've never seen XOS as a ETF. I mean, there's so many damn ETFs though. I mean, it's not surprising. I'm gonna check SOS out and see what you got going on here, Jamie, because SOXS, I'm sorry, not SOS. SOXS. Yeah, it looks about the same as LABD. I do like this one better because it is cheaper. So you can get a little bit more shares of this one. But let's see. Let's check real quick. You see the market starting to get bloody. So Thinkorswim is not showing me what this ETF is weighted with. Oh, okay, it's a semiconductor bear ETF. So as long as tech stocks are falling, this ETF will be going up. Not a bad find for an ETF. It's definitely one that has got some potential. I mean, today it's already ripped $1. So that's a nice move. I like it. Good find, Jamie. Good find. And I did this last year, right before the pandemic, or right at the pandemic drop on the SPY. I got in TVIX, which is actually not an inverse ETF. It's a volatility index, a volatility ETN, not even an index, but an ETN, a trading note. And I got in it and I held it. Held it from, I think, it's like 200 is what I got in on it. TVIX don't exist anymore, but it's like 200 I got in on it. And then it ripped over that whole, yeah, they delisted and took that ETN off the market. But back on the SPY, in March there when it started crashing, I got it at 200. And at the bottom of this dip, TVIX was at $1,000. Now I didn't lock in until about up here. I think I made like $300 or $400 or something off of that one share of TVIX. But it's starting to look like it's going to be another drop for sure. I don't want to say for sure, but to me, for sure, it looks like it's going to be another drop. So the inverse ETFs could be pretty good plays. And this is what I was talking about on SLGG, getting that little bounce off of that support area. These are the type of plays we may have to be making if we're not trading inverse ETFs during this down market. You have a big sell-off down to a support line, getting that support line, and you got about 20 cents right there that you could have got. And it may continue to push up a little bit more. But that was the little bounce I was talking about. Let's see, AESC does not look like it's going to recover. It's trying. But if it does not get back above 3 and start holding, then it's going to dump. RETO actually starting to break out here. It's the only play I see that, besides the inverse ETFs, that is actually trying to break out. This little cup and handle here. Do have some selling pressure above 233. Yeah, 233 is right where that high day is. But this could be a good little quick scalp possibly. Now it's getting pushed back down. I'm gonna go. Oh no, I'm not gonna go. Thought I had enough funds to get 30 shares of it. I was gonna try to do a little scalp on it here. There we go. So I got 20 cents. So I'm at 219. I just want to see if it'll pop back up to 230. Got some selling at 225. Let's see if, oh, that got taken out. Close to pushing at 230. See if 230 is gonna break here. I'm gonna take it. There's a quick little scalp. So that's what we gotta do in these markets like this. Quick little scalps. Now, it could break over 230, and there it goes, but still at 235 is going to be an issue. But I got in at 219 right below, waited for this candle to get some buying volume. Bought into the buying volume up for about 10, 11 cents there. It's not a very big win, but I wanted to do it just to show you guys, you new traders, how to do these quick little scalps like this in this down market. So there you go. And see, still getting held up at that 230. So in this down market, you know, the odds of it really breaking out big are not very good. But if you can get 10 to 15 cents, you know, on these little trades, I'm still trying to struggle with 235. But if you can get these 10 to 15 cent little wins, these little scalps during times like this, then you know, you're not really risking very much money. You're just hopping in and out real quick, just making little profits. Of course, the more shares you had on this, the more money you would have made. I mean, I only was able to buy 20 shares because I've already traded AESE twice, but yeah, exactly. That's the point I was getting at. What One Life just said. You know, 10 cents on 1,000 shares is $100. So that quick little scalp right there. If I had more money, if I had 1,000 to put into this, could have got that. You know, that would have been like $100 trade right there. And it actually is still pushing up, surprisingly. The market's dropping. I don't know why this is going against the market, but it is. But if you're still trying to go long, you either want to do these little quick scalps like this at the breakouts, or you want to do the bounce plays, like I said, on the LSGG. And look at there, LSG did get up to that 630 area where I was talking about, so you could have got 20, 30 cents there. You just can't be greedy in this market. You don't want to be holding stocks for very long. Like, I'm still holding AESE, but, you know, I try to buy at the break of the downtrend. That's not going to work in this market. Downtrend didn't break, so now I'm way down here. Now, after this sell-off, you know, if you would have bought right off of this support at 288 or something, it popped back up to 307. So you could have got a little bounce play right there of about 12 cents. So outside of shorting, which if you're new to trading, you really should not be shorting because that means you're on a margin account and that is dangerous. But for new traders and you're in this type of sideways, choppy, droppy market, that's what you want to look for. Little bounce plays, little scalps. Very nice, Orlando. That's all that matters. If you did good and you are proud of it, that's what you want. That's true. You can't be greedy anytime. But there are, like, the last couple of weeks where we had the hot market, there is those times when you can hold stocks longer and try to scale out. But in this type of market environment right now, I mean, you can just see there's nothing really breaking out. If you look at the percent change on the top 10 NASDAQ gainer, that's a reverse stock split, so that doesn't count. That is... I have no idea what's going on with that. It's only had 21,000 in volume, so I don't know why you would trade even... I don't even know why this would be on anybody's radar at all. So I wouldn't count that as a rip. You got BAYP. It's got a little pop there, but it doesn't have any volume either. So the most liquid stock on the top 10 NASDAQ gainer is RETO right now. Oh, and that's actually a good point too that I should say. For these scalps and these bounce plays, you want liquid, high volume stocks. You don't want to try to do that in a stock that doesn't have very much volume. But you can see RETO has had 30 million in volume, nice strong volume candles. All these bars are over a million, so it's a liquid stock. You can hop in and out quick for scalps and bounce plays. And you could possibly, 225 is trying to hold up, so you could possibly look for a bounce play off of that 225. This pre-market high at 220-ish. This old resistance could turn into support. But at this point, I don't know. I'd be a little cautious. SPY is trying to come back up. And then we look at the top NYSE gainer. You can see Socket's got 43 million, but it's in a downtrend. So yeah, and then you look at this is what I was wanting to show you though. The percent change, the highest percent change on the NYSE is 10%, and the highest, we'll say, fair percent change on the NASDAQ is 38%. We don't have any 100% runners. At this point, we only have a 50 cent runner. So now look right there on REIT2. What I just say, you could have bought a little, you could have got a little entry there at 225 for a bounce play, and now it's pushed all the way back up. That's another possible 10, 11 cents you could have got off of a little scalp bounce play there. And it may even push up a little bit more. So you got to look for those little plays in this market. You just got to look for the little guys. AESE is trying its best to hold up this damn trend line. I don't know if it's going to or not. But if the trend line does hold up at $3, that could be a decent entry off of the trend line, and you could see 325 or something like that. Dime time. That's right. It's dime time. So you may not make a ton of money in a slow market if you're on a smaller account, but it's better to be slowly growing that account with these small little scalps and small little bounce plays. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. There's been a nice little bounce right there off of that support. But as long as you can survive during these slow markets and you're still slowly growing your account, when the market gets hot again, then you can hold a little bit longer for those bigger rips. And when I say hold a little bit longer, I don't mean like what I'm doing on AESE right now. Because I definitely don't think this is going to go on a big rip unless something happens and the market really turns around. But the market definitely does not look like it's going to be turning around. I don't know. There was a good amount of buying trying to hold it up off of the 50-day moving average. But look at this. Look at this little reverse U that today's candle is continuing to form on this. Drop under 370, drop under 378, and this is coming down to 368. Yeah, it's show me the dime. Instead of show me the frisk, show me the 10. Show me the dime. It doesn't have the same ring to it that Show Me the Frisk has. It's kind of sad sounding. if I'm being honest. So you can see that trend line's holding up there. Trend line held up at 3 so far, and you got a little push up to that 309. So there's about 7 cents right there that you possibly could have got off a bounce play. And it may continue to push up a little bit more. But this is one of those, not this stock in particular, but today is one of those examples where I say it's harder on a small account to trade, because if you're on a 25K margin account and you can trade as much as you want to, you could have hit a scalp there, made $100, could have hit the scalp, both scalps, the scalp here for 120 bucks or whatever. Then that bounce play, you could have got a little 100 something bucks right there. So you could sit here all day and you could scalp and make these little 10-cent wins and end up with $1,000 in a day if you got a big enough account to do it. But when you're in a small account, you got to be so picky and choosy. And honestly, the best way to maybe be to grow a small account instead of trying to hold for bigger gains is just be consistent and get the 10 to 15 cent scalps every day. It's going to add up, after a year of doing that, you get like 150 small wins of $10, $20 or something. It's going to grow your account a little bit. But day trading is a grind. Anybody who tells you it's a get rich quick overnight is full of shit. Oh no, I agree that you can scalp. That's why I did it. I mean, I only made $1 on that play, but you can scalp. That's what I'm saying. You can grow a small account by being consistent. You're not gonna get rich quick with a small account trying to scalp all the time, but you're also not gonna get rich quick if you're bag holding all the time looking for big old runs. So you gotta have that consistency. You gotta have that balance. I'm just saying, as far as versus a large margin account where you can trade as much as you want to nonstop, that it's a little bit harder with a small account. Because you can only trade so many times. AESE is probably going to crack. It's really struggling to do much off of that 3. ITO with a little bit of a curl over, so that may drop down again. Let's see if there's any support for this to bounce off of here at that 25 area. See if on Rocket there was a bounce play. Bounced right off of that 25.66 area. And we look back there, what do we see? That was resistance. Then it held up as support. Came up off of there, bounced off of there. Never quite got back that low. The new support was at that 27, but that broke down. So then it came back down to this little support area. And you can see there you actually could have got a $1.50 bounce play on that. But basically for scalp plays and bounce plays, you just really got to know support and resistance real well. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that one line. You do have to have that mind state that you've got to you got to act like your little small account's $100,000 account. So if you guys are shaky on support and resistance, be sure that you're learning about it. Go check out the support and resistance videos and the day trading lessons and practice support and resistance, because you're going to need to know those very well to do these scalp and bounce plays all the time. And see SLGG still climbing. And what we got here, we had this sell off in this little down market here. Draw your line right back across there where that bounced at. And what do you see? You see that was some resistance back through there at that 167. Do we have any resistance or support at 167 on the chart? At the top chart? And yes, we do, right across here. See, there's resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, broke above, held up as support there, held up as support a little bit there, resistance there, broke above, bounced off there, come up, bounced off again, dropped down, held up, then cracked below that support, and it broke back above it today in pre-market. So it came back down to that previous strong support, and you could have got like 6 cents right there. You know, it's $1.72, pretty cheap stock, so you could have got a little 6-cent bounce off of that support level without looking at the PR. They actually do have good PR, but without even looking at the PR, without looking at anything other than support and resistance and the volume. You know, and of course, you know, it's easier to do this now after it's already made it, but I did call out a couple other ones like Re2, why they were happening, but I was just using that as an example. And AESE trying to come back up. But yeah, basic point is if you can spot support and resistance really well, really quickly, then you can catch these bounces and these dip buys. Or I'm sorry, these scalps and these bounces. A dip buy is a bounce play, but it's an interesting possible play. A little flag on this. About 3 million in volume on it, but that's pretty high float. I'm surprised it made that big of a move, 40 cents. Let's go back to volume here. And look here. Well, what do we got on the old Tanger outlet here? Sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off. And it came down and it bounced off of this 1850 area. That was support through here. It was resistance through here all the way back. That old resistance became new support, and that support ended up holding. And you got a little bounce from 1860, 1870 up to 1945 right there. Another little bounce play. Very nice, Jamie. I'm glad to hear that. Those type of comments make me feel good. That's why I do this. Just try to help people out. Because like I said, I'm not a guru. I'm not a master. I'm a student just like you guys. I just happen to have a little bit more experience that I can share with you. But I remember when I started out, there wasn't a ton of YouTubers who were day trading. It was Ross Cameron, Tim Sykes, which I never trusted Tim Sykes the moment I saw him. I don't know why. That guy just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't trust Ross either. Like I've said multiple times, I don't trust sneaky looking muskrat people. So but there wasn't a whole lot of traders on YouTube 6 years ago when I started. And the ones that were fast talking, slick talking, giving half the picture and trying to sell you their courses, and it was so annoying to try to learn actual good valuable information. And then the sector kind of started getting a couple more. I don't know sector, but I guess you could consider it a sector. But the trading sector on YouTube started getting more and more people, and I was seeing a lot of scams. I was seeing people who were paper trading and saying they're making, $100,000, but they were just paper trading and telling people to buy their courses. And people who had no idea how to trade saying buy their courses. I saw a lot of that start happening, so that's why I finally started my channel. It's like, man, I don't want people who are like me, who don't come from big rich background or any of that. Like, just hardworking everyday people like me trying to get ahead in life. I don't want them to have to struggle through the same shit I went through. And learning the wrong things and learning part of the picture, and it's annoying. Yeah, BDI bastards. Exactly. You don't trust those. Those BDI muskrat bastard people. Yeah, he can lose 30K. I said this the other day. He can lose 100,000 in a day, and it not be a big deal because he charges 1,000 a month for a membership to his website. So I mean, if he's got 100 members at $1,000, that's 100 grand. So what's losing 30 grand in a day when you're making 100 grand every month at least? Yeah. I Well, the slow talking thing, that's just cuz I'm slow in the head. Cuz cuz I'm originally from Tennessee, so I am probably one of the faster talkers from Tennessee. And it's took me a while. If you go back and watch some of my old videos when I started on YouTube, my ability to speak was not the best. But even still now, I stutter sometimes, and I blank out, and I'll have a space in the middle of a sentence for no reason. You'll hear me do that all the time. I try to work on that. I'm always trying to better my talk patterns. But when you're born and raised in the South and your mouth doesn't move that much, it takes a little while to break that accent. See, I just did it right there. Trading like Daniel B is the key. Daniel B is a good trader, but yeah, the market is definitely turned there. Nice break of this downtrend. Oh, let's read the PR. Let's see what's going on with the PR right here. Okay, that's why the Senate is going to be voting on the COVID-19 bill today at 1 p.m. So that's the turnaround. Because you can see right before that, this U.S. indices are trading lower from fears of investors regarding rising treasury yields. Oh, can you guys see this? Can you see this PR box? I was recording a video last night, and I noticed, and I think some of you have tried to point it out to me. I didn't understand what you're talking about, but I noticed when I was recording that, the way that I had this set up for Thinkorswim, any windows like this, whoa, any windows like this was not showing up in the recording. Why does it keep doing that? Stop doing that. So I think I fixed it, so you can see this box now. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys can see this box, because I know there's been a couple of times where I've clicked on certain stuff that are different windows that pull up, and the way I had it set up was not catching these windows. So if you can see that, that's good. Maybe I won't have too much more issues with that, because I think I fixed it, but I didn't know what you guys were talking about for those who was pointing it out, because I could see it on my screen, so I didn't know that you couldn't see it on your screen. So I'll if that setting fixed it, I'll leave that setting the way it is. You can see it, but you can't read it. Well, you know, as long as you can see what I'm looking at, you can pull up the same thing. That way you can read along or whatever. But I remember like a week ago or something, somebody asked me a question about orders or something, and I pulled something up and was doing a little lesson on it. And then they kept like, I can't see it, and I didn't understand what they were saying. So now, here's the thing. If for some reason they do not vote this stimulus bill through, the market is probably going to drop. This stimulus bill is the only thing really, I think, that's got investors feeling a little bit safe, because they think the stimulus bill is going to go into the economy and boost the economy, which I don't know about that, but whatever investors think is whatever they think. So that's why you see it rebounding. But if they do not pass that, if for some reason they get in their little political games and start playing shenanigans with each other, then the market will drop hard. So that needs to pass today to try to see if the market can rebound. Because, I mean, even though the market's turned right there, I mean, we're not even close to returning around at the moment. Like, the downtrend is still way up here at 390. So this is a nice little quick turn intraday off of that good little news that they're going to vote for it. But, you know, that to me, that's still not enough. Like I said, it doesn't matter what I really think. It matters what the majority of investors think. And right now, the majority of investors think that the stimulus bill is going to help. Personally, I don't think it's going to be enough to do anything, and I think we're still going to see a crash. But it may delay the crash until next week or something. And AESC is slowly climbing back up. So I don't know if at this point, I mean, it may be possible that it comes back up some more. If it could break that 325 area right across there where a lot of that resistance is and just push back up to that 340, then I would just go ahead and lock this out. I just take that little quick profit on this because I've been bag holding it a little bit for a while now. But it may not come back up there. I'm trying to give it a chance to see if it's going to. Because it is climbing up the trend line. But if you guys have any questions, suggestions, or ideas, go ahead and get those in. I'm going to give the stream about 15 more minutes because I got that doctor's appointment in about an hour. So I got to get ready and eat lunch and all that before that. So get those in quickly so I can cover them quickly. And the video I recorded last night is on the TOS buying and selling, the buttons, the templates, this AT ladder. You know, this video I've been saying for weeks I was going to try to get out. It is finished, and I will be posting it after the live stream for you guys who need some help with these buy orders and sell orders on Thinkorswim, because it is kind of complicated looking at it starting out. More than likely, this is not going to break back up to that. Well, I won't say that yet. It's still a little bit early. It could get back up there. You can see Ritsu only got up to 245, so that's what I was saying on these scalps. You don't want to hold them long. You just want in and out, quick 10 cents. And possibly, you know, maybe you can get another possible scalp here. Well, actually, you could have already got it off this bounce right here. A 222 up to 236. That would have been about a 14-cent scalp on that candle there. After seeing this hold up that original support that held up back here again. Now it does look like it's trying to make a U shape. But I wouldn't count on it. Well, you can also play this off of a trend line. I'm not gonna do the trend line like that. If you draw the trend line like this, right off the bottoms of all these candles, right now you could possibly buy on the trend line here at this 230 area. You'd want a pretty tight stop loss, and if that holds up, and then it might curl back around to that 245 area, you might be able to get a little bounce play off the trend line. No, I don't put mustard on I've never even heard of that. Who does that in Tennessee? I don't even like mustard like that. Now, my grandma had a pork chop recipe, and it was the best pork chops I'd ever had. And somehow she mixed mustard with flour and fried them. So it didn't really have like a strong mustard taste. It just had like this little light layer of crispy mustard from it being fried with the nice flour breading around the whole pork chop. That was pretty good, but I've never heard of anybody putting mustard on their French fried potatoes. We eat mashed potatoes and gravy. Taters and gravy. That's what we eat. That's what we eat for our taters. Gravy on everything. I'm a gravy fiend. You literally could deep fry something, anything. You could deep fry a sock and throw gravy on it, and I would try it. I bet it'd be all right. Now look here, look there. What I say, bounce play, little bounce play right off that trend line. You just got to be quick with these type of plays, because see, now it's getting rejected. Take them big guns. A sell stop point? What do you mean? I'm having I'm not quite understanding what you're asking about, Michelle. How you make a sell stop point if it goes down to a certain point? Do you mean like are you asking about where you should put your stop losses? Oh God, you've been using Robinhood? Yeah, my buddy was arguing with me yesterday about Robinhood. Like most everybody who's been following the channel, I diss Robinhood all the time. I've been dissing Robinhood for since it came out because I just dislike their company and everything that they do. But he was arguing with me that for new traders, Robinhood is very, very user friendly. But my argument for that is if you're a new trader and you don't know how to buy or sell, with different, if you don't know the difference between a market order and a limit order, and Robinhood's making that easy for you, all it's doing is handicapping your trading. And you shouldn't be trading anyway. Yeah, the video that I'm putting out today will actually talk about that quite a bit. I talk about stop losses. I talk about a trailing stop loss, which let's see if I got one share. Let's see if I can show you. So if you go to template, you got this bracket order here. You can change the stop to a trail stop, and minus whatever is going to be what your stop loss is. So if you want a 10-cent trailing stop loss, then you would just change that to 10 cents, right? So then I got that trailing stop loss in. If I buy market in here, so now I've got this 10 cents trailing stop. If it drops below 10% of my purchase price, or 10 cents, I'm sorry, 10 cents below the purchase price, then it will get me out. If it keeps pushing up, this trailing stop loss will actually follow the price. So see that little tick where it just moved up, and this is what I was showing in this video, and I'm actually going to start using these because they help with discipline. They'll keep you disciplined. But I talk about that in the video. That video is going to be good for you, everybody new to watch, because there's a lot of information in there on using these stop losses and stuff like that. And if you still have questions, I can cover it. I could do a video on specifically how to put in losses and stuff. But see, as this keeps pushing up, the stop loss keeps pushing up. So if you're in a hot market and you got a big runner, see, I may get stopped out here on it. Let's see. I mean, there's only one share, so I mean, I'm not really gonna make any money off of this anyway. But I'm just showing you guys because it does have its potential U-shape here and bounced off the trend line. But if this continues to go up, this trailing stop will follow it. Hopefully, it does continue to go up so you guys can see this. Hopefully, I don't get stopped out here, but it is a possibility. Hello, Adam. So far, don't know if it's gonna break up or not. Ooh, a lot of selling at 238. I'd like it to break over 240 so you guys can see this trailing stop work properly and me not just get stopped out. Because I recorded the video in after hours, so I couldn't really show in real time how it worked. I just tried to explain it all the best I could and try to show how it looks when you put the orders in and stuff. So it'd be nice, RETO, if you could just have a little pop there, to retest that high a day at 245, which is a possibility. It's just climbing up the trend line right now. Oh yeah, it follows. That's why I'm wanting it. I'm wanting this to push over 240 so you guys can see this actually in action, but it may not do it. I may get stopped out before it does. But for scalping, and I said this in the video, yeah, so see I got stopped out right there. But that little 10-cent stop loss got me out of there quick. Very little money risked on that. If it would have continued to climb up, the trailing stop would have continued to follow. With the trailing stop, you can basically put that in your order in, and you don't even have to do anything else. You can just sit there and let the stock do whatever it does. And if it keeps ripping, then it keeps ripping, and your trailing stop will follow. And if it drops and hits your trailing stop, then it'll drop off. Now, I may not have said this yet, but if it would have climbed up to, say, 250, the stop loss would have then moved up to 240 because it was a 10-cent trailing stop loss. So if it hit 250 and then came back down to 240, it would trigger that stop loss still, because the stop loss does follow, but it's not going to drop down any. But it's very good for those scalping and bounce plays, because all you got to do is just go to your bracket there and you can set this up. And like I said, in the video I show this, but I'll show you guys here too. So you can put that as a 10-cent trailing stop. And then let's say we're risking 10 cents, so we want to make 20 cents a share. So we're going to put that in there. And let's see if I got enough to... No. So I'm out of funds. So you'll have to watch the video. I was hoping that would show it, but you could literally put it in to where you have the trailing stop, your order gets filled, and then you have a price target. And you have all three orders in, and then you can just walk away from your computer. You don't even have to be here to trade with that type of bracket order. Adam, my thoughts on the market right now is that it's going to go kaput. You must be new to the channel and just joining, because I've been talking about it non-stop literally for probably a month or two, saying that we were getting real close. Like, since this drop right here, I've been saying that the market's getting ready for a big pullback. The only reason it's rebounded today is because the Senate is going to vote on the bill. If that bill, the stimulus bill, does not pass for some reason, get ready for it to drop again. But I think we'll at least see this 369 on the SPY. I think we'll see that big of a pullback. Now, I don't know when. It could be tomorrow, but highly doubt it's tomorrow. But could be next week or could be the week after. But I do think I mean, everything, all the signs are pointing to a sell-off. This right through here is a perfect recipe for a sell-off. And reason being is look at the candles and what the price action has been doing. So overall, we look at this back through here. It's a little choppy. You got a little curl there that bounced down to the moving averages and came off. And then you got a nice little move up there, then another pullback, then another pullback. And then right through here, as we was getting into these highs, it started getting real choppy. Like, look at all these little choppy candles we got. Choppy, choppy, choppy. A lot of indecision. But the selling candles, look how much bigger all these selling candles are than all these green candles. The green candles are a lot smaller. There's only one big green candle here, and this green candle has a big, ugly upper shadow. So just looking at the price action of these candles, and even and all the way up to this point where they're getting smaller and smaller, and the red ones are getting bigger and bigger. Well, now we see a little bit of fear coming in because we're getting even bigger red candles. So, no problem, Michelle. I'll get that up right after this. I hope I'm wrong too. You know, it's the same thing as with the GameStop prediction that I made. I was saying I hope I'm wrong. I don't necessarily want the market to crash big, but if it does, I'm okay with that because I'll be ready to buy up these cheap prices just like we did back through here. You know, Daniel B, One Life, me, we made some pretty good gains riding this big ride back up after this crash down here. And we actually all got in a little bit late. We were a little nervous which way the market was going to go back here. But when you get the big buy-offs like this, or I'm sorry, the big sell-offs like this, that's when it's buying time. You know, start adding that portfolio. Right now, though, this would be risky to be buying right now. I mean, you could, and then maybe try to average down if it drops, but plus all the other stuff that I've told you guys about the treasury yields rising and the inflation and the problems that the Fed's going to have, I really don't see a high probability that the market's actually going to rebound. I think we have a much higher probability of a pullback to at least, like I said, that 368. But we'll see. You never know. Yeah, path of least resistance theory. That's a good way to put it. I've never really heard it phrased like that, but yeah, that's and you see RE2 cracked, so that trailing stop got me out of there before it even cracked. Saved me a loss on there on that trailing stop, so very nice. But yeah, basically the probability of it going up after looking at this is very low probability. Because you got way more selling resistance. If you draw resistance lines where the SPY has gotten held up at, right? You got all this resistance. And that 9 EMA is right there. And then you got more right here as well, which is kind of holding up as support at the moment. So, but you're on this last little support. If this cracks here, the next support line is not down till right here. That old resistance right there that was supported bounced off there. So, just looking at that, which way do you think it's going to go without knowing anything? If you don't have any idea about support and resistance or anything, just looking at that, which way looks like the easier route, which is what One Life is saying. If you try to throw a ball uphill and there's 4 fences in the way, you're probably not going to be able to get that ball up the hill, right? But if you throw that ball downhill and there's only this one fence, you're probably going to clear this fence pretty easily. So hopefully that metaphor makes sense. I don't know if it does or not, but I was just explaining a little bit more detail than what When Life called that, because I liked what he said. I like the way what did you call it? Path of least resistance theory. Yeah, I like that. SLGG moving. Still got the downtrends. Got to break over 7 if it's going to move, but looking for a breakout today. Yeah, see, even though the market did try to rebound, it's still in a downtrend right now. It couldn't break over that 383. This is some nasty volatility too. When you see the market start getting this type of volatility in it, where the SPY is moving, $4 or $5 in a short time frame, this drop down $4 in the first 30 minutes of the market. Now it's came back up $4 in the market. That type of volatility is a signal that money is being moved around quite a bit. So SLGG could rip, but you're going to be running into a lot of resistance. And we are in this sketchy market, so if you are looking at SLGG as a play, probably go with the quick scalp or quick bounce play. So, all right, guys, I'm going to call it a day. I got to get going. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. I am still holding AESE. I'm just going to hold it for now. I'm going to bring my stop loss up, though, a little bit higher. There we go. And if it keeps climbing, then it climbs. If it drops, then it drops, whatever. But, yeah. That's it. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there. Until next time.